Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A central nervous system stimulant that increases energy and decreases appetite, used to treat narcolepsy and some forms of depression. The higher of two berths. Higher in place or position. The upper bunk. Piece of leather or synthetic material that forms the part of a shoe or boot above the sole that encases the foot. Superior in rank or accomplishment. The upper half of the class. The topmost one of two. A central nervous system stimulant that increases energy and decreases appetite, used to treat narcolepsy and some forms of depression. A central nervous system stimulant that increases energy and decreases appetite, used to treat narcolepsy and some forms of depression. A rate, usually rapid, at which something happens. The project advanced with gratifying speed. A central nervous system stimulant that increases energy and decreases appetite, used to treat narcolepsy and some forms of depression. Cause to move faster. Move hurriedly. Changing location rapidly. Move very fast. The runner zipped past us at breakneck speed. Move faster. The ratio of the focal length to the diameter of a camera lens system. Distance traveled per unit time. Travel at an excessive or illegal velocity. I got a ticket for speeding. The higher of two berths. A high place. They stood on high and observed the countryside. Slightly and pleasantly intoxicated from alcohol or a drug, especially marijuana. Happy and excited and energetic. In a rich manner. He lives high. Used of the smell of meat, smelling spoiled or tainted. Used of sounds and voices, high in pitch or frequency. At a great altitude. He climbed high on the ladder. A public secondary school usually including grades 9 through 12. He goes to the neighborhood high school. Standing above others in quality or position. People in high places. A forward gear with a gear ratio that gives the greatest vehicle velocity for a given engine speed. A lofty level or position or degree. Summer temperatures reached an all-time high. An air mass of higher than normal pressure. The East Coast benefits from a Bermuda high. A state of altered consciousness induced by alcohol or narcotics. They took drugs to get a high on. A state of sustained elation. I'm on a permanent high these days. Greater than normal in degree or intensity or amount. A high temperature. Literal meaning. Being at or having a relatively great or specific elevation or upward extension, sometimes used in combinations like knee-high. A high mountain. Having a higher rank. Superior officer. A combatant who is able to defeat rivals. A character or symbol set or printed or written above and immediately to one side of another character. Written or printed above and to one side of another character. One of greater rank or station or quality. The largest freshwater lake in the world, the deepest of the Great Lakes. A town in northwest Wisconsin on Lake Superior across from Duluth. having an orbit farther from the Sun than the Earth's orbit. Mars and Jupiter are the closest in of the superior planets. Of high or superior quality or performance. Superior wisdom derived from experience. Of or characteristic of high rank or importance. A superior ruler. Often followed by to, above being affected or influenced by. He is superior to fear. Sometimes followed by to, not subject to or influenced by. Overcome by a superior opponent. The head of a religious community. Be the culminating event. The first half of an inning, while the visiting team is at bat. A relief pitcher took over in the top of the fifth. Pass by, over, or under without making contact. The balloon cleared the treetops. A canvas tent to house the audience at a circus performance. They had the big top up in less than an hour. A conical child's plaything tapering to a steel point on which it can be made to spin. He got a bright red top and string for his birthday. Be superior or better than some standard. She topped her performance of last year. Cut the top off. Top trees and bushes. Provide with a top or finish the top of a structure. The towers were topped with conical roofs. The highest or uppermost side of anything. Put your books on top of the desk. Be ahead of others. Be the first. She topped her class every year. Covering for a hole, especially a hole in the top of a container. He removed the top of the carton. The top or extreme point of something, usually a mountain or hill. Finish up or conclude. They topped off their dinner with a cognac. The highest level or degree attainable. The highest stage of development. At the top of his profession. A garment, especially for women, that extends from the shoulders to the waist or hips. He stared as she buttoned her top. Be at the top of or constitute the top or highest point. A star tops the Christmas tree. Platform surrounding the head of a lower mast. Reach or ascend the top of. The hikers topped the mountain just before noon. Situated at the top or highest position. The top shelf. Strike. The top part of a ball in golf, baseball, or pool, giving it a forward spin. The greatest possible intensity. He screamed at the top of his lungs. The upper part of anything. The mower cuts off the tops of the grass. A drug that temporarily quickens some vital process. That stimulates. Stimulant phenomena. Any stimulating information or event acts to arouse action. A drug that temporarily quickens some vital process. Of drugs, e.g., able to excite or stimulate. A drug that is taken for non-medicinal reasons, usually for mind-altering effects. Drug abuse can lead to physical and mental damage and, with some substances, dependence and addiction. A drug that temporarily quickens some vital process. A drug that is taken for non-medicinal reasons, usually for mind-altering effects. Drug abuse can lead to physical and mental damage and, with some substances, dependence and addiction. Unacceptable behavior, especially ludicrously false statements. A bed on a ship or train, usually in tears. Avoid paying. A long trough for feeding cattle. Flee. Take to one's heels, cut and run. Beds built one above the other. A message that seems to convey no meaning. A rough bed, as at a campsite. Provide with a bunk. We bunk the children upstairs. A job in an organization. Secure in or as if in a berth or dock. A bed on a ship or train, usually in tiers. Come into or dock at a wharf. A place where a craft can be made fast. Provide with a berth. A bed on a ship or train, usually in tiers. A separate part consisting of leather. An amphetamine derivative, trade name methedrine, used in the form of a crystalline hydrochloride, used as a stimulant to the nervous system and as an appetite suppressant. Dry mash for poultry. Start by cranking. Crank up the engine. Rotate with a crank. A whimsically eccentric person. An amphetamine derivative, trade name methedrine, used in the form of a crystalline hydrochloride, used as a stimulant to the nervous system and as an appetite suppressant. A hand tool consisting of a rotating shaft with parallel handle. Used a boats, inclined to heel over easily under sail. Travel along a zigzag path. A bad-tempered person. Bend into the shape of a crank. Fasten with a crank. An amphetamine derivative, trade name methedrine, used in the form of a crystalline hydrochloride, used as a stimulant to the nervous system and as an appetite suppressant. An isomer of amphetamine, trade name dexedrine, used as a central nervous system stimulant. An isomer of amphetamine, trade name dexedrine, used as a central nervous system stimulant. A sulfate derivative of amphetamine that is used as a stimulant for the central nervous system. A sulfate derivative of amphetamine that is used as a stimulant for the central nervous system. A form of amphetamine. A form of amphetamine. An amphetamine derivative, trade name methedrine, used in the form of a crystalline hydrochloride, used as a stimulant to the nervous system and as an appetite suppressant. A piece of calcite or a similar substance, usually in the shape of a crayon, that is used to write or draw on blackboards or other flat surfaces. A pure flat white with little reflectance. A soft whitish calcite. Write, draw, or trace with chalk. A mirror, usually a lady's dressing mirror. A small refracting telescope. An amphetamine derivative, trade name methedrine, used in the form of a crystalline hydrochloride, used as a stimulant to the nervous system and as an appetite suppressant. Enclose with glass. Glass in a porch. A container made of glass for holding liquids while drinking. Become glassy or take on a glass-like appearance. Furnish with glass. Glass the windows. The quantity a glass will hold. A brittle transparent solid with irregular atomic structure. Glassware collectively. She collected old glass. Put in a glass container. Scan, game in the forest, with binoculars. Diamonds. Look at the ice on that dame. A heat engine in which combustion occurs inside the engine rather than in a separate furnace. Heat expands a gas that either moves a piston or turns a gas turbine. A rink with a floor of ice for ice hockey or ice skating. The crowd applauded when she skated out onto the ice. A frozen dessert with fruit flavoring, especially one containing no milk. Water frozen in the solid state. Americans like ice in their drinks. Decorate with frosting. An amphetamine derivative, trade name methedrine, used in the form of a crystalline hydrochloride, used as a stimulant to the nervous system and as an appetite suppressant. A flavored sugar topping used to coat and decorate cakes. Cause to become ice or icy. An iced summer drink. Put ice on or put on ice. The frozen part of a body of water. An amphetamine derivative, trade name methedrine, used in the form of a crystalline hydrochloride, used as a stimulant to the nervous system and as an appetite suppressant. An amphetamine derivative, trade name methedrine, used in the form of a crystalline hydrochloride, used as a stimulant to the nervous system and as an appetite suppressant.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.